I'm so happy to be here. I want to thank the community. Humble beyond belief. I'm so deeply honored. This is a highlight of my life. I'm just so grateful to be here. Our great city, St. Augustine, is named for a dark-skinned African bishop.
Amen. Amen. Do your research. Do your research.
St. Augustine said many quotes. My favorite is, our hearts are restless until we find our rest in thee. I translate it, we have a hole in our soul that only God can fill.
Yes.
St. Augustine also said, there is no saint without a past. There is no sinner without a future. He was speaking about the human being. Earthen vessels who sin and fall short of the glory of God all the time, and yet carry in their bodies the extraordinary power of God.
Yes, yes.
I think the same quote is true for our great city. There is no St. Augustine without a past. There is no St. Augustine without a future. Violence has been a part of our history for a long, long time. Since 1565. It is a fact. It is recorded. But friends, I'm here to tell you today, violence does not have to be our future.
Amen.
History didn't just happen here 50 years ago. History didn't just happen here 450 years ago. Important events happened, yes. But if we are stuck looking back, we are going to miss what's happening today. Right here, right now, the powerful present today. History is happening now. St. Augustine needs every single one of us to become the beloved community. And no one else is going to do it for us.
That's right.
Washington, D.C. can't do it for us. Tallahassee, Florida cannot do it for us. Change cannot come from the highest office of our land. Change cannot come from the highest office of our state and trickle down to us. To rebuild the dream, Martin Luther King's dream, to rebuild it, we must become nonviolent agents of social change. This is what Dr. King lived and died for. He believed we could be better today than we were yesterday. He knew that we could never ever be perfect, but he knew we could be excellent. We could strive for excellence every single day of our lives, and we can do it together.
Yes.
Dr. King said we cannot be free until all of us are free. Dr. King said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The time is now, St. Augustine. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Yes.
For jobs, for justice, for freedom for all of our citizens. All who call our heavenly city home. Some of you may feel like you have been working a long time for this. But please don't get discouraged. We need your experience, strength, and hope. Some of you are brand new residents to St. Augustine, or brand new to the idea of becoming involved and owning up to your citizenship, becoming interested and invested in the political process. We need your experience, strength, and hope. We need everybody to rebuild Dr. King's dream. Together we can learn about each other and what's happening in our county and city. Today we've already met and hugged a couple new friends. Find out about them. Something we all share is our gratitude to call St. Augustine home and our gratitude for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That is what we have in common. This is going to bring us together and unite us. And I want to say to you today, if you do not know your neighbors, it's time to know your neighbors. I want you to be a neighbor. And I am so blessed in my life and with my family to have an awesome neighborhood. I have so many blessings from my neighbors. But guess what, St. Augustine? My neighborhood is bigger than Ocean Walk. And your neighborhood is bigger than you think it is right now. If you're from Palencia, like my mom and some of her friends here, your neighborhood extends all the way to the shores. If you're from Hastings, your neighborhood extends all the way to Ponte Vedra. If you're from West Augustine, your neighborhood extends to Anastasia Island and Crescent Beach. If you're from Volano, your neighborhood includes Comanche Cove and the Deaf and Blind School. Lincolnville, your neighborhood includes Davis Shores. All who live here downtown, your neighborhood includes Flagler College. We are all each other's neighbors.
Yes.
We are all brothers and sisters. Yes. Yes, we are. And we can be good neighbors. I know we can. I know we can respect each other. I know we can trust each other. And I know we can be compassionate and loving towards each other. Dr. King said the most important and urgent question in life is this: what are you doing for others? Dr. King taught that the surest way to be happy yourself is to seek the happiness of others. Ask any recovering alcoholic or addict how they stay clean and sober, and they'll tell you, I don't drink or use one day at a time, and I help others. We are not free until all of us are free.
Amen.
We are so blessed in the city to have water all around us. I see the water shining on the sunlight right behind us. And think how many bridges we cross every day. Do you cross a lot of bridges, Pastor Ross? Yes. Do y'all cross bridges of water? Yes, I do too. So what would happen, St. Augustine, if every time we crossed a bridge, whether we're on our 2 feet or a bicycle or a car or a bus, what if every time we saw a bridge, we said to ourselves, what am I doing for others? What if we remember Dr. King and his dream and said, how can I be a bridge builder today? How can I rebuild Dr. King's dream today?
Amen.
And what if each one of us said yes? Yes, and we committed to build bridges and to step up and step out together as one beloved community. Great things are happening here.
Yes.
Great things are happening now. The Holy Spirit, the God, the creator of all, is moving in our midst in mighty ways.
Amen.
Dialogue is happening. We're learning to listen to people who look different from us and how to understand and share and have conversations about difficult things. Mayor Shaver is hosting an informal coffee hour at Theo's Restaurant this coming Friday from 8 to 9. We are the very first city of compassion in Florida, and we are now connecting to other compassionate cities all over the world. On Saturday, St. Paul's AME Church hosted a very important workshop,
Yes.
a workshop of knowing your rights when dealing with law enforcement.
Yes.
Police officers were there, city leaders were there, concerned citizens were there, and they were talking about tough issues, and they were listening to one another. It was the beloved community. We must work together now to prevent the things that happened this year in Missouri and in New York. We do not want those things to happen here, and it is up to us to make sure they don't. lives matter.
Yes.
Dr. King said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate can never drive out hate. Only love can do that." February will soon be declared Forgiveness and Compassion Month for our city. The Forgiveness Project, this is something created by Desmond Tutu in South Africa. This project is circling the globe right now, the Forgiveness Project, inviting conflict resolution and reconciliation. The Forgiveness Project will be here at 2 places this month, at the Ringhaver Student Center at Flagler College and at the new Corazon Theater. There are also in the month of February going to be lectures, movies, book studies, and workshops on forgiveness. All the great religions of the world teach the promise of freedom to those who choose to forgive. The space in our hearts that used to hold bitterness, used to hate grudges, used to have resentment, those spaces in our hearts can hold love. Those places in our hearts can hold joy. The highlight of my summer this year was hearing the testimonies and stories of the rabbis who returned to St. Augustine. I want to thank each one of you, those who helped. I know there are some here today who helped bring our rabbis back. For those of you who don't know, these rabbis came at the request of Dr. Martin Luther King when he was in jail here in 1964. And they came, and 14 of them came, and I think 8 or 9 came back 50 years later. And their stories were amazing. Amazing. Our St. Augustine rabbis opened my eyes. And only God can do this. So God was working through the rabbis to open my eyes, my South Carolina white girl eyes, to the incredible faith, the strength, and the courage of our African American community right here in St. Augustine, day after day after day.
Yeah.
Armed with amazing faith, and that's all you had, amazing faith, with great risks to your jobs, to your families, to your health, and to your lives. You chose love. You loved while you were marching. You loved while you were waiting. You loved while you were singing freedom songs, while enduring beatings, while cooking for friends, and while going to jail. Your love, my brothers and sisters, changed our city for the better. And I say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because your love didn't just change our city of St. Augustine. Your love changed the whole world. I saw the Berlin Wall come down in 1989. I know the human being's drive to be free. I lived in South Africa in 1993 and 94 and experienced the amazing desire for freedom and justice for all of God's people. You who made change happen here are my heroes. And so the greatest way, I believe, for us to honor Dr. Martin Luther King on this national holiday is for us to become love-struck with one another. That's what I'm talking about. Love-struck. Love-struck with one another. Do we need God's help to make that happen? Yes, we do. And is God ready to make that happen? Yes. Yes, God is growing our hearts. I feel it. I've only lived here 3 years. I feel my heart growing. Dr. King's favorite subject from freedom and justice, he often chose to preach on love. He did many sermons on love, sermon series, loving your enemies, loving in action, loving forgiveness. And my favorite, a sermon he wrote called Levels of Love. But it wasn't just the topic of love that got people excited. And I'm saying Northerners, Southerners, all kinds of skin people, little people, children, college students, everybody, those with a lot of money and those who didn't even have very much money. What got people excited was not just love. What got people excited was the power of love to change the world. The only power that can change hearts and change the world is the power of love. King preached, as God loved us, so let us love the brother and sister. Let us love them. Let us love each other. I am convinced, Dr. King said, love is the greatest power over all the world. Over the centuries, philosophers have asked, what is the highest good? What is that good that is productive, that generates other good? What is it? What is the most important thing? And then he answered his own question. He said, I am convinced that the answer is love. God is light. God is love. One who hates does not know God, but one who loves at that moment rises to a knowledge of God. Love is our legacy. Love is our destiny. May we go on with a love in our hearts that will change us and change the lives of all those around. Dr. King closed the sermon with a dream that we will make this old world a brand new world. Friends, I'm here today to say only the power of love can help us make this old city of St. Augustine a new city, St. Augustine. Only love can rebuild the dream. And I'm feeling the love right now. The disciples were constantly asking Jesus, Lord, Lord, what is the most important thing? And over he said, love. Love is the greatest thing. Love God. Love your neighbor and love yourself. Last. Love. It's such a little word. And it's the only word that can change our world. Does our world need change? Yes. Does our world need love? Yes. Jesus preached, teached, and modeled sacrificial love. This is the agape love that Martin Luther King preached on. The love that cost something for the one who chooses to love. It costs something. It's not easy. It's not cheap. It's not fast. It's costly. And I believe the core of racism and the core of so many problems in our society today is our failure to love. The love that I'm talking about is not the love of our media-driven culture, not the love that screams, it's all about me, my needs, my neighborhood. Friends, I don't have to tell you, it's a me-first world that we live in, is it not? It's a me-first world. And guess what? We cannot rebuild Dr. King's dream with a me-first attitude. It's going to be hard. American individualism is rooted in who we are. I believe it's in our DNA. And that's why we have so much to learn from other cultures who are more communal. Our rugged individualism, where it's all about me and my needs and my family, makes a nation of lonely, depressed people. Community is what we need. Community, where we were all in this difficult life thing together. We're all in it together. Becoming Dr. King's beloved community is how we will thrive and not just survive. The words, I have a dream, changed the world. 4 words. I have a dream. They were not in his script today, brothers and sisters. Those words came from a power greater than himself. On the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on August 28, 1963, something happened as Dr. King looked out on 250,000 people Each one unique, each one beautiful, each one a daughter or son of divine light. Dark skin, light skin, young and old, light shining from their eyes, light reflecting off the water pools, light reflecting off the white marble. This is it. This is God's dream, a glimpse of heaven while still here on earth. I want you to look around, brothers and sisters. I want you to look somebody in the eye, to your right, to your left. Look around at each other. You are daughters and sons of light. Each one of us, daughters and sons of light. Men and women of dignity. And Dr. King wants us to become love-struck with one another. Love-struck. For friends, we know it. We know when we love another person, we see the face of God. Let freedom ring, St. Augustine. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Amen.